What's going on, guys? Phil here from Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube, and I have two things right off the bat to tell you. So one, if you don't know, right now if you're watching this video, as soon as it gets uploaded, we're giving away a complete truck build. So it's wheels, tires, and suspension. We got Archon Off-Road tossing in free wheels, Fury with free tires, and Rough Country with a free lift kit. So if you want to get entered, the link will be down in the description below. You can find it there. And secondly, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Super cool to have you here. We'd love you to hit the subscribe button because we're almost at 200K. We're like this close to 200K, and I'm just trying to make my family proud and tell them that this is a real job and that I do actually get paid to do this. So without further ado, we'll jump into the video. Today we're covering the 4 types of truck builds. Now, before you get all angry and jump in the comments and just go nuts and start telling me how terrible of a person I am and get all upset, there's more than 4 types of truck builds. There's like 47,000 types of truck builds, but see, they're building a truck right now. It's super loud, you can probably hear it. But we're just gonna cover the 4 most common, or the 4 biggest categories that we can kind of loop everything into. So the first type of build that I want to cover is one that doesn't require a ton of money or a ton of skill or a ton of research to jump into, and it's like the OEM plus build, we're gonna call it. So it's the guys that they bought the truck off the showroom floor and it works for them, but they need a little bit more. So they might continue to run those stock wheels, or maybe go up to something just to, a pretty modest setup, something like, maybe 18 by 9 or something like that. Nothing super aggressive, but still looking to retain that factory performance, that factory handling, and just have something that looks a little better, something to personalize it, say, yes, this vehicle is mine. It doesn't look like the same thing that everybody else is out there driving. So like I said, maybe an 18 by 9 or a 20 by 9, something smaller, doesn't stick out a lot, not very flashy, or perhaps even, that, like I said, they might keep the OEM wheels, but jump up to a larger tire size. And then to fit that larger tire size, a lot of guys then are adding a leveling kit, and that's simply to make it easier, as far as turning goes and clearance wise, to just get you that, extra 1.5 to 2.5 inches of clearance so that you can fit those bigger tires on there. Or if you do go with a little wider of a wheel, now you have the wider wheel plus the taller tire, so you just need that space in there so you're not having to trim a whole bunch of stuff out of your inner liners. So whether that be the plastic or doing a NorCal on the back, typically the OEM plus build guy is not going to want to cut up his truck because perhaps it's a lease, or they're only going to keep it for a little while and then they want to sell it, or they're just fearful of cutting into that huge purchase. Even used trucks now on the market are anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 depending on what you're buying for just a truck that's a couple of years old. So that's kind of the OEM plus build. We don't see a lot of that because we always go more crazy, and that's basically the opposite end of the spectrum, is the guy who builds their vehicle for Instagram, or they build it for SEMA, or they build this vehicle to get a whole bunch of attention, and it has basically no function to it at all. It's simply for aesthetics. So the second type is the aesthetic builder, or the SEMA show builder, or just the show truck builder in general. So these guys we told them to be quiet, they didn't listen. So these guys are going out, they're buying the biggest lift possible, they're buying the widest wheels possible, they're running the new 30 by 16 American Forces, a fully polished wheel that costs buku dollars to actually buy from American Force. If you can even get on the list to buy them, they make a very limited amount. And I think they're all sold to SEMA trucks, and they're probably not making any more for the general public unless you have big time money, and then you can pay them to actually make those wheels for you. So like I said, they're going absolutely huge, they're going super wide, or they've got stretch tires where they're running a 16-inch wide wheel, but they only have a 13.5-inch wide tire that they're stretching onto there. There's basically no function. Say a 30-inch wheel, now you have this little rubber band tire, because even like a 40 or 42 on a 30-inch wheel looks like basically no sidewall. Now there might not be that extreme for everybody, because you also have the people that are going to run a reverse level and then have 12 wides and Nitto 420s, where you wouldn't really put Nitto 420s on a truck because sure, they're rated for it unloaded, but if you do any sort of hauling or towing, you now are basically exceeding the weight capacity of those tires. And when you have those little rubber band tires, the sidewalls heat up a ton because you're putting so much stress and pressure on there that the longevity of your tires just isn't going to be there. But there's always that guy out there, or that group of guys out there, that are going to build their trucks for attention, and that's exactly what those types of builds do. If you're looking to gain Instagram followers, that's a great way to do it. If you put something on your truck that people tell you doesn't fit, but you drive it like that, people are going to follow you because it looks pretty sweet. Anytime someone puts 16-inch wide wheels on their truck, and they stick out 14 inches because they're also running 2-inch spacers. It looks awesome, but we all know that it's very difficult to drive like that. So that's your next type of build, is that SEMA builder, attention grabber, that type of vehicle where people really just want to stand out from the crowd. And then those guys also aren't stopping at just wheels and tires. So like I said before, they're getting the biggest lift kit or the fanciest lift kit. They're going full coilovers. They're going to a custom fab shop and building a 4-link kit. And then besides that, they're also adding bumpers and grills and headlights and light bars and just everything imaginable to put on that vehicle to make it stand out and personalize it to be their own. But everybody who is an off-roader will make the comments and say, that truck's useless, why would you do that? You now have spent $200,000 by the time you buy the $100,000 truck because you have had the Platinum or the Lariat or the fully loaded version of whatever type of brand that you're buying, and then you stick another 100 grand into it with all this custom fabrication and the wheels and the tires and everything, and it just all adds up to this big giant cost that the off-road crowd is going to look at and tell you that's completely dumb. Now, those are two different opinions, whether you want this guy or this guy, but people will always have that and they'll always argue back and forth, and I'm sure you guys can have fun in the comments. Just don't get too mad at each other and don't take it out on one another. The next type of build is going to be that actual purpose-built vehicle, or the function guys, the Overlanders, the off-roaders. Now, there's almost a couple different subcategories within there, because you do have the guys that are trying to take their truck to the mud bog. They've got a $1,500 old pickup that they don't care anything about. They're just going to cut the fenders off, put the biggest wheels and tires on they can, not necessarily wide, but being really tall, and they'll get the 42-inch super swampers and then go run that thing through a mud hole. And then you have your overlanding crowd, which is really building a very specific vehicle for a very specific purpose. Plus, there's still another group of people that, although they might not build it for off-road use, they're building it for function, and that's going to be 90% of your actual daily drivers and most people that are buying wheels and tires for their vehicle, because they want something that says, yes, this is my vehicle, it's personalized to me, it looks cool, it's lifted a little bit, it's got a little bit of stance, but they're not going super crazy with it. So we'll kind of dive into that a little bit. Now, the overlanding community, like I was saying, has a very specific purpose-built vehicle, and what they're really doing is building a vehicle that is reliable and capable off-road, but they also look into things like recovery tracks or traction boards, or however you want to say it. There's like 12 different names for the big plastic things that you see stuck on the side of Jeeps or up on the rooftop carrier that are basically, that they use to get out of a situation where they're stuck and you need some extra traction. So you throw the boards down, you drive right out, blah, 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 long story, you've probably seen them in use. So those guys, the Overlanders, not only do they focus on like a quality lightweight wheel, like a Method or something like that, but they're really looking at what tires work best for them and not buying just the cheapest things on the market. They're gonna look at things like the Wrangler Duratrack or the Falcon Wildpeak AT3. Some of them have looked at things like the Nitto Ridge Grappler, but those are more designed for your show trucks, I think, than what people are actually using those for off-road. Sure, they're a hybrid tire, they're good both off-road and on-road, but they're not that dedicated off-road tire. Whereas the Wrangler Duratrack and the Falcon Wildpeak AT3, although aren't technically off-road tires, they're going to get you there. You can drive down the highway with them and then air them down, and they work great off-road. So those are some of the things that those guys are looking at. When it comes to suspension, they're not buying a standard kit that you can just buy off the website. They're looking at like an Icon Stage 3 kit or something like that, or just custom coilovers, and probably doing some of their own fabrication to get the best possible results out of their vehicle, because they really need these things to perform well, and they basically live out of these things for a weekend or a week at a time, or it depends how serious they are into overlanding and going from one part of the state to the other or going halfway across the country. It really depends on how comfortable they are with their vehicle and how well they've equipped it. So then, as I was saying before, there's that other 90% of people that are building their truck to function well, and now those guys are going with not necessarily like a 17x8.5 like an Overlander would for their function, but they're going with a 20x9 -18 or a 20x10 -4, maybe some 30 through 12.5. So they're looking at the Nitto Ridge Grappler because you get really good mileage, but it still looks aggressive. And then as far as a lift kit goes, they might just go with a large leveling kit or a smaller like 4-inch lift. And they're doing that because they want to try to keep the functionality of that vehicle, so they can still drive it to Home Depot and load up some sheets of drywall in the back, or they can hook up their boat and tow it to the lake for the weekend without any negative effects on their vehicle or on the performance of that vehicle. So that's where most people are shopping. That's where most people are buying in our experience. Now, like I said, obviously there's the SEMA guys too that are going super crazy. And we've got a little bit of both that shop on our website. That's where the gallery is super nice because you can just plug in your year, make, model and figure out exactly what fits your vehicle, so you can kind of look at what style you're going for and know ahead of time before you make that purchase what fits, what looks good, and what's going to perform best for your situation. The last type of vehicle build that we're going to talk about isn't necessarily a build at all, and I know you guys will get really fired up about this, but we're talking about the bought vehicles, the people that buy their vehicles that are already done. Now, I'm guilty of this. I one time bought a car that was basically completely finished, but when it comes down to it, if you don't have the time or the money or the patience or the skill set to build something yourself, it's not a bad idea to just buy something that's already done. Now, don't overpay for it. I made that mistake, really messed up big time there, because I saw this car and I was like, that's super cool, I need to have it. So I threw a whole bunch of money at it, got it, and then realized it was full of problems, because anytime you dive into something that's extremely aftermarket, you run the risk of having something that's completely unreliable. So the very last type of truck build is the bought trucks, and I'm sure you guys can have a war with that in the comments. If you guys have any questions on wheels, tires, suspension, remember that's what we are experts on. You can check us out at customoffsets.com. Peace.